You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Now I've had a change of clothes. I've had a wardrobe change. We had the great Ben Fordham on last week. Ben can only come on spasm.
Oh, you did get him on?
Yes. He
good.
Wanted to speak to you, but you had to go.
I had to go.
But the great Ben Fordham, he can come on spasmodically.
Yes.
Because he's engaged by another employer.
Where do you get those hats?
Well, I think someone bought one back from his. So I'm just saying, we really appreciated Ben coming. He can come on because he's a national broadcaster. If there's something really of importance, he is allowed to give his opinion to the nation, and we're one of the people he can give his opinion to. But he can't come on every week.
Well, I'll tell you what has become prevalent, and that is that the rugby league, I reckon, have, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I reckon the rugby league right now, and we've had some new appointments, so things might change, but
at the AFL.
At the AFL, so we're talking at the highest level, but also it's filtering down through grassroots. I've got cousins in Wagga Wagga that are playing both rugby league and AFL football. They're playing both. No, well, they're not playing soccer. They could play soccer, I'm sure,
yes,
but they're playing two different sports during the week. And it's filtering through to me that the rugby league from the top down, and I can't believe I'm saying this, are doing it better.
Yep.
They are doing it better than the AFL.
Very easy to say that, mate.
Well, you look at
AFL are floundering.
what they've done in the game in Vegas and how the attention that's getting. You look at the way the State of Origin game the other night, and I know some people go it's overrated and this and that. It is not overrated. It was and it wasn't a great game. New South Wales dominated.
The women's State of Origin was fantastic.
They were talking about it last week, and they did. They got over 1 million views or viewers. Floundering.
They are. They're incompetent.
Nice fish to flounder. What? Very flat.
No, they're flathead.
No. The flounder is flat as well. There is a flat head, and the flounder is a flat fish.
Fucking believe it.
Now, what do you think of the appointments
this bloke walked into the fish and chip shop and he said, I want some flounder. This is true. And he walked in and he's in the queue and he got to the front and he said, I want some flounder. The bloke prepared it and he had it there in the paper and just before he wrapped it up, he said, do you want any salt on your fish and chips? And the bloke said, yeah, I do. So he put his hand in his right-hand pocket and put out a sprinkle of salt. And he said, do you want any pepper? And the bloke said, I do. He said he put his hand in his left-hand pocket and brought out some pepper.
That was your right. You said left before. Yes.
He put his hand into one of his pockets and brought out some salt. And then he said, do you want pepper? And he put his hand in, and the bloke said, I do. He said he put his hand. And the bloke behind him said, for Christ's sake, don't ask him, does he want vinegar?
What are you? Yeah, how many? You could just go on and on.
Can you break into a joke?
You could just go on and on about these.
Well, so anyhow, flounder, how do we go? They're floundering.
They're floundering. So we've had a couple of big. We've had Laura Kane, who's been, she's
sacked.
She wasn't sacked.
She was
given another
nothing wrong with
job.
Being sacked. She was sacked from her position.
She's been given she wasn't sacked. She was shifted aside to work on some other things.
I got shifted aside.
She got shifted aside, and now from all reports, and we said this before, Tom Harley will be appointed either today or, if you're to believe.
Will he ride his motorbike down to
By the way, I think Caro broke that, so it mightn't be right. But anyway, probably is right.
Will he ride his motorbike down to the interview?
Greg Swan has. Mr. Harley, yes. Well, very good, Sam. He might have a Ducati.
Mr. Ducati.
So Greg has been appointed. Tom, we think, will be appointed. Not Greg, Swan.
You didn't
Swanee.
mention that. You just said Greg.
I said Greg Swan. Swanee. Yeah, been a great...
He's not a relation of that Chrissy Swan, is he? You know that...
The singer.
No, that fucking...
The singer.
The person.
Oh, no, Chrissy Swan. She was a radio... and she was on Big Brother.
Was she?
She was. That's how she made her fame.
Is she famous?
Famous.
Yeah.
What is famous? What is famous, Sam? Do you know what famous? Do you know the definition of famous? They say.
Those who attract interest on a public arena. I don't know. I
think it's something like you've got to be recognisable to a certain amount of.
Is she recognisable, Chrissy Swan? If you saw
I
her in
reckon
the street, would you know who she is?
I would, but I watched Big Brother back then. She was on the original Big Brother.
That's 20 years ago.
Yeah, well, that's when I used to watch
She might have
it. I don't watch it anymore.
She might have changed a bit.
I don't watch it anymore. Can I just say, let's get back onto the AFL and the rugby league, right? So Tom Harley, according to Caro, is going to be appointed, so probably not. Greg Swan has definitely been appointed. No, but in all seriousness.
He's had some positions, Greg, hasn't he?
Both of those, yeah, and you know what? And he's had success. So he's been at Brisbane, premiership last year. Mm-hmm. He's been...
wasn't he there before Laura in the first place then?
Well...
Didn't fit the DEI model.
So they've gone and... This is the amazing thing. This is how broken they thought their team was, that they've obviously Laura's gone to another section and doing another job, and she'll do a great job at that. But they've had to bring in two brand new people.
Yeah, two men to replace a woman.
We talk about that, and then you look at the rugby league and you look at what they're doing and how they're going about everything. They are just humming along, the rugby league.
Yep.
They are.
No,
I think for the first time in my time of being involved in football, I think rugby league have just snuck past the AFL not only in the way they run, and in a lot of
they run at each other.
In a lot of other aspects of the game. Well, they've got consistency around their well, they don't call it a tribunal, but
someone called Kate on Channel 7, the Aidan Johnson bump that he got 2 weeks for, said, "This is the exact act that has to be cut out and stamped out of our game." You've got people. Why are the female umpires umpiring football? Could I ask that? Didn't realise. Why are the female central umpires umpiring AFL football?
Why are they?
Yes. Why is that?
There's only there
doesn't
are a couple,
matter how many there are.
No,
why are
they
female umpires in the
why
AFL?
Not?
Because
umpiring's all about decision making.
Well, just hang on. It's got to be innate. You've got to have some. It's got to be inside your body. Just how the game.
Most AFL umpires have never played. They haven't played the game at the top level. That doesn't mean they're not a good umpire.
They mightn't have played at the top level. They've played it. Perhaps.
Yeah, but so would have the female umpires. They would have played at some standard. Absolutely.
I wouldn't think that at all.
No, I actually think that's one area where you're wrong. Well, umpiring's all about decision making, getting in the right positions,
and knowing the intricacies and the nuances.
What do you
of
need
how
to know?
Well, I'll tell you what you need to know.
You need to be.
I'll tell you what you need to know.
You just need to be in the right position to see what's going on in a contest.
No, and you'd have to know if people are staging or foxing. If you have an intimate knowledge of the game and you've played it, you would know if someone's. Who can tell that? I can tell that.
I strongly disagree with the fact that a female... No, and I'm answering it. I disagree. I actually think, because I think they probably look at it through a different lens and don't get sucked in as much if you haven't necessarily played. I think there should be more female umpires, to be honest.
Oh, my God.
I do.
What about female,
I think they do a good job.
What about female callers? Do you like
female callers? I don't mind female callers.
I don't mind them. I'm just asking your opinion.
No, it's like anything. I think that female umpires, I have no doubt that they could do every bit as good a job as a man.
Perception.
Or anything else. No, I truly believe that. And I think callers, whether you be special comments, caller, whatever you are in the game, or an executive, anything. Mm-hmm. A female could be the best person for the job, and call it as you see it. And if they can,
notwithstanding,
speak absolutely. Why couldn't they be as good as a man
as an umpire? Because I don't think it's innate. It's not in them. It's not. They've been brought up not doing it or playing the game.
That could play to their advantage as well.
Do you think?
Yeah, it could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's
just
good.
Once again, that's my opinion. You have yours.
No, I
I
didn't actually give an opinion. I was asking you yours.
Yeah, and I gave it. I said that I think they can.
I turned on, just moving along.
When it comes to callers of the game, unlike special comments where you just chime in and generally
make it up.
Yeah, or you
bamboozle people.
Or you try to give them something that they haven't just heard.
Yeah, that's right.
But I think when it comes to commentary, it's especially calling, it is familiarity with someone's voice that makes them a caller. So once you get used to one's voice, it makes a big difference. If someone just comes on and they speak like a
woman,
well, there you go. Well, a woman. Then you just get used to that. And if they play by play, and if they're a good caller, you get used to that.
So if you went into a draw to see who's going to commentate on the grand final, and they pulled a female's name out of the hat, and she was calling alongside. The main male callers and
if you had
and the great games,
Bruce McAvaney,
so you got Bruce and
Dennis Cometti,
Gloria. So you got Dennis Cometti and Margaret Swanson. Her name pulled out because she's been calling football. And the game starts, the AWFL Grand Final, and they come back on. They say, the ball is bounced in the centre and bang up it goes. And you think,
but some guys sound like that too.
Well, I was taken. That was a guy. No, that wasn't a guy. No, it just doesn't. It's not a good fit.
Yeah, I as long as they.
I turned across and I watched that.
I will say that though, Jess, and Jess, who doesn't listen to like heaps of footy, but she heard commentary the other day, and she said she was
taken aback.
She was sort of pricked her
ears.
Thanks, putting words. Yes, pricked her ears, and she said, "Oh, who's that?"
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
why
because
did she say that?
Because
it's different.
Because it's not familiar.
That's right.
That's why. So once you become familiar with it, I think that takes away that uncomfortable, if it is uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's
or if
uncomfortable.
It's,
Now, Duck, I turned across and it had the wheelchair rugby on. Wheelchair rugby. Is that something now? I get into. I'm on pretty safe ground here because the person we've mentioned, Caroline Wilson, said that disabled sport was just not really sport. People only go to watch them fall over. She did actually say that. How she kept a job after she said that is beyond me. But I turned on to watch the wheelchair rugby. Would you think that a lot of people would gravitate to watching wheelchair rugby on the television? And why? And if not, they may. But if the ratings didn't prove that, why is it on?
I'm
quota?
I'm finding it difficult to understand how they would play that.
Well, they just get in the chairs and they ram one another, and it's just I'm not sure. I watched it and I thought, no, I can't work it out either. Would you watch it?
How do you tackle? Would I watch it?
How do you tackle?
I would watch it initially.
You ram your chair into someone.
I'd watch it.
Well, you do, don't you? So
I would watch.
Sue's played wheelchair rugby.
I would watch it to see how it was played.
Will you line them up like a Dodgems and you ram your chair into them?
I was going to say it sounds more like Dodgem cast.
So would you say that's a winner?
I didn't know they played that, but
nor did I.
I've seen wheelchair basketball, which you can understand how that's played, and that's actually quite a good game. Hey, I want to get on to my Saturday night, just to in between,
I'm going to ask you something just when you're finished. I'm giving you the complete rein now, but Bombora Jones, do you know who he is? Percy Jones.
Yeah, you brought him up last week.
And
Big
because
Percy.
he's listening,
Yep.
I'm going to ask you on air. He wants to know something from you.
From me.
And I'm going to ask you.
Well, ask me now.
I'll tell you, they are so excited down the west coast of the east coast? No, the west coast. That's down Barwon Heads Way, isn't it? The west coast. Yeah, the west coast.
I don't know.
He what is it?
Surf Coast.
Surf Coast.
Yeah, down Barwon Heads, down sort of Torquay way.
He texted me after we were on and he said, would it be possible for me, to come down and speak at the Bowen Heads Football Club lunch, and gave me a date in June, coming up in a fortnight or so. And I said to him, I said, what, is this a professional engagement? He said, what, money? And I said, well, I'm just asking, what is it, that's the fee. He said, well, I can ask that. I said, no, don't ask him. I said, you want me to come down and speak at the lunch? He said, well, they'd be delighted. I said, I tell you what I'll do. I'm going to ask the Duck on air, which I'm doing now.
Yes.
Would you like to bring... when I said this, he had an I could hear him. He had an orgasm over the phone with Bombora Jones, which I don't think he's had an orgasm for a long time, judging by his track record and mine. So I could hear him physically, blood drain out of his voice and must have gone down to his dick. Anyhow, I said, I'm going to ask the Duck on air. Would he drive us down in the battle truck that you've got? You can bring your kids and your missus, any one of your missuses and any one of your kids. Would you come down with me I'll give you the date. Mm-hmm. I think it's, I can't remember what date it is, but it's
June.
It's June. It's coming up on one Saturday. We'll drive down, we'll do the lunch and we'll drive home. He said, you wouldn't ask him, would you? I said I would. He said, the bloke who runs the Bowen Heads Football Club is a dyed-in-the-wool North Mill. In fact, they'll put him in a micro-ambulance if the Duck says he'll come down. So I'm asking you.
Well, I don't know. How can I say yes? And you're giving me a week's notice? I'm
telling you the date. And if you say you will, they will. That will make news across the Western District. That will. I'm just looking up his number. Go ahead.
I'll let you. We'll have a look at it off here. I'll let you know.
No, he wants to know now.
Hey, he wants to know. Well, I don't know.
What?
I'm actually going. I'll be down Torquay Way this weekend. Actually.
No, well, he's Bowen Heads.
I know. Well, Bowen Heads isn't far from Torquay, isn't it? That's.
I was brought up down there.
Yeah. I know that.
Yeah, I'm going to Bombora Jones. He surfs out the back there with all the waves that come in.
I'll answer this as one of the mothers. Hello. Hi. You just. I'm in the middle of a podcast. Sam's laughing. So just ring.
What does she want? Go on, put it on. 21st of June.
Okay, I'll call you later.
Let's ask her. Would she like to come down?
No, that's the wrong mum.
Oh, shit.
It's
21st of June.
21st of June.
Go on, have a look in your book.
21st of June.
Now, don't make it up.
No, by the way, I don't have everything.
Hang on, Bombora. He's going to say...
I will let you know.
No, he wants you and me to go down.
Okay, I'll look it up. I've got to work that out.
What'd you say, Sue?
I've got kids.
Novelty.
I've got kids.
Well, bring them all down. Bring them down you took them down for a Easter egg hunt down that way.
Yes, I go down that way all the time.
We'll take them
down there this weekend.
Bombora Jones wants to know because if you
21st of June, is it? I'll put it here.
Midday.
We'll have a look.
We'll go down at 10. We'll do it and we'll drive home. The bloke said.
What is it? 12.
It's a lunch for the Bowen Heads Football Club.
21st. I'll have a look at it.
No, I want you to say now. Can you?
No, well, I have to.
I know what'll happen. You'll say, "Oh, look, about that date, Sam. I'm sorry. Tell Bombora Jones." He sits out.
No,
the back.
you can ring him. Literally, when we get off air, ring him
I
and say.
ring him now.
Yes. No, don't ring him now.
No, I'm ringing him now.
No,
no, I'm ringing him now. Hang on. Okay. Where is he? Fucking there is Bombora Jones.
He won't answer.
There he goes. Here we are. This is. Oh. How do I do that?
Put the Bluetooth on the roadcaster on.
Jesus.
Well, this is riveting stuff.
Bombora! You're right. Hang on. I'm trying to get you on Bluetooth here. We're on the podcast.
Oh, right.
Hang on a minute. Sue, come and tell me how I do this. How are you?
I'm very good. Yourself?
Well, I've just asked Wayne Carey here about the 26th or whenever the function
the 21st,
is. Hang on, Bombora.
21st of June, you said it was.
June. Are we on? Hang on. Are we on?
Not yet.
You said it was the 21st of June, Sam, but I will have a look at it.
Hang on, Bombora's just waiting here. You there?
Yeah.
Why isn't he on? Go on, put it on, Sue. Are you there?
Yes,
Do I have to,
he
do I have to
said
cancel that, Sue?
you can't keep saying, are you there? He keeps saying, yes, Sam.
All right.
He's
Well,
there.
We can't
He's
hear
there.
him.
I know you can't, but
We
he
can't
is there,
hear
though.
his voice.
But he is there, though.
We can't. All right. We can't hear you. No.
No.
Hang on, Bomb.
We'll work
Come
it out,
on,
Sam.
Sue. No, we've got Wombora on the... He's just come in from surfing. What? Hello?
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
I
We
didn't
do
have the
him.
sound up. Have you just been out surfing?
And when you say Bond, say who it is. It's Percy Jones.
Peter Percy Jones,
Yes.
Carlton Premiership
Yes.
player and coach, and he's asking you. He's just come in from out the back surfing the big bombies, and he's in. And I said I'll ask you, Duck, if you'll come down to a lunch at the Bowenheads Football Club on the 20. What date,
21st,
Bombora?
you said.
21st, the 21st. It's Soldiers Bowl down here.
Yeah, we know it's cold, mate. It's cold. It's winter. Now, here's the Duck. Now, Duck, I want you to commit to coming down with
I
me.
said, Percy, thank you for... G'day, by the way. I said I'll have a look at it. I do have to tick it off with, family. I'm sort of...
But you could have a playpen down there for all the kids. Someone could look at chaperone him while he's speaking.
No worries. You're able to make it.
What?
It'll be fun. I'd love it down here, the boys.
You said the president's a North Melbourne diehard, and he would have he would actually blow the back of his pants out if the Duck came down, didn't you?
I did say that in as many words.
Well, I will...
Well, I reckon you can start the advertising.
I'll look at it.
No, I
Oh,
don't.
God, they'll be out. They'll be over the moon.
Well, I do go down that way a lot, Percy. So I'll have a look and see if I can pop my head in. I won't stay as long as if
What do you think? I'm going to sit down there with the Bowenheads Football Club and watch the game? I'll come down. We'll speak at the lunch and we'll go home.
If I'm able to do it, I'll pop down.
Bommy.
Okay, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah,
No
we'll
worries.
get the flyers printed up and we'll get the flyers printed up and the Duck will come down.
We'll see.
It'll be the talk of the town.
Well, that's what I said. It'll
Well,
go.
Mark Howard lives down there.
I don't. Who?
Howie.
Yeah, Howie.
You know Howie is.
Oh, Harry will be there.
That's it. Well, you can.
Harry will be there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the Duck will come down,
All right.
and if he doesn't come down, I'm not coming.
Oh, don't say.
All right, get back out there. The waves, how are the waves today? They up?
Oh, fantastic, sir.
Yeah, righto. Don't overdo it. Right, see you, mate.
Yeah, Percy.
Righto, good on you, boys.
All
There
right.
you are.
So that you know what that's called? You know what I say to my kids, Sue? I go, and this is they're experts. You can take your headphones off now, Sam.
Oh, I'm just
They're-
getting rid of the phone call.
They're experts at, you after school or on a weekend or whatever. You're standing there and they're around a few friends, and they go, "Dad, can 5 kids come over?" Or Dad, and I get them on this. I say, "Listen, what you don't do is you don't put your parents on the spot like that. You come over and you say, Dad, or Jess, or to one of the adults. Oh, there's the other mother. You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. So I'll call you back just on the podcast. I will call you.
Maybe they'd all like to come down to the Boneheads
Okay.
Football Club. Bring all the mothers.
I know. Yeah.
We'll get one of Dyson's buses.
So I've had.
and we'll drive down.
So I've had Jess ring me and say you forgot to order Baker's Delight bread. I've had Steph ring to speak to Charlotte, and now Sally. So that literally we had the trifecta this
So
morning.
let's get a Dyson bus, a 38-seater, and we'll drive down for the Boneheads Football Club.
You can't make that up.
You can't make it up.
All 3. Anyway, well done. Now, listen, if I can go down.
You've got to come.
But you put someone on the spot like that. I'll check if I can.
But what
come
are you
down.
checking?
Jess could drop me off on the way down
She
to
can
Torquay to
come
see
down.
her mum. No, she'd just keep going to Torquay.
Okay.
And then, someone can, I'll work out.
I'll
how to get
drive you
from,
down.
from Barwon Heads to Torquay, and then we're good. So anyway, I'll work that out. It's written down in here. I want to talk about Saturday night. We've got a little bit of time. Yeah, just quickly.
I've got
Saturday night.
5 things
So
to talk about
a
here.
mate of mine, business partner, sort of mate of mine, had a 50th birthday.
Yep.
And he decided now, normally, you're in your 20s and you go, well, what do you do for a 50th?
Yeah.
Well, what would you normally do?
Well,
anyway,
it'd be a bit more restrained than your 20th.
well, a little bit more restrained. Well,
Yeah.
he booked a
With a shotgun grog.
karaoke room and listened to the
Is he
name.
Japanese?
Yum Sing House. Yum
Just, Yum.
Sing
Yeah, Yum Sing.
House. So you can eat. They serve you food in there.
I understand.
Yeah.
Bit of sake.
And anyway, so you got your private room, private everything in there, and you've got your big screen. And
What was your song of choice?
I've got a couple of.
come on.
I've got a
What-
couple
what-
of specialties.
Well, what they said it's your turn.
They
Duck.
didn't have a couple of the. Well, I sang "Cow to the County,"
Coward of the County.
yes,
Yeah.
which is Kenny Rogers.
Yeah. Coward
Right?
of
You could have heard a pin drop when Tommy stopped and locked the door.
Go on.
The Gambler.
Yeah.
You got to know when to hold 'em.
Fold 'em.
When to fold 'em. No.
Oh, just if the backing group goes, go on, you do it, I'll do the backing group.
No,
go on.
right.
Go, no, you do. Say, know when
you
to
had
hold
that.
them. And I go, when to hold 'em.
And then well, what's funny about the night? There was only 13 of us in the room. But what's funny is everyone's sitting around there eating, and then they have you have a couple of drinks, and then so no one sings for the first 3 hours,
And then the
and then at
grog
the end,
kicks
then
in.
everything kicks in, and
Yeah,
then you're on.
And do you read the words or you know them?
Oh, that's a very good question. So the songs that I sing,
You know.
I would know the majority of the words. So sometimes, and that's when you're showing off.
You get a bit ahead of the
You
music.
turn away from the
Yeah.
screen and you just start singing, and they go, oh wow, and they go,
oh wow,
and then they think that there's nothing better than that person in there, which there was one.
Captivating
I won't
everyone.
bring his name up.
Well, you got me to bring Gary Lyon's name
I
up.
won't bring his name up.
What's his name?
But he thought he could really sing.
What's his name?
And I said to him afterwards, no, this is great.
Ex-footballer?
So what I've noticed with karaoke, if you're no good at singing, the crowd loves you because they like
They do.
They like the train wreck. And I'm up
Heap
there
shit on
at
you.
this. I'm thinking I can sing, and I'm singing all the songs. And then I went into Faith, George Michael. Well, I guess it would be nice if I could touch your body, right? So I've gone into that one. Then I've gone straight into the Gambler, straight into the Cow to the County, straight into Sher.
Yeah, you 4 songs you sang.
Right? Yep.
People would have choked on their bloody...
They couldn't get me off. But I was getting applauded because I was so bad, right? Yeah. Then old mate, I won't mention it. He got up.
Mention his name.
And he could sing. He could sing
What's
a little
his
bit.
name?
He could sing, right? And he's singing. Well, when I say he could sing, he was better than me, but he still wasn't good. So when the night was over, I took him I felt compelled to take a few of them to the cattery afterwards. But
what?
we'll get to that. So
The
we do the karaoke night. He thinks he can sing, and on as we're leaving, we get kicked out of there at about 12:30.
What's the cattery? At
12:30.
Geelong?
Hang on, I'll tell you. 12:30, 1 o'clock. We actually get told, okay, your time's up. And they had another group coming in.
Oh, at the restaurant.
So we get into the. We didn't even order an Uber. We walk straight out. We get into a taxi. And it's sort of, it's one of those, periods of time. What do we go home?
Yeah, we
or
should
do we
have.
kick on?
Yeah, we should have gone home.
So I said to old mate who gets into my cab. There was 2 cabs. He gets into my cab, and I said, "Listen, you're very good tonight." And he looked at me, and I said, "You're very good." I said, "But at the end of the day, you weren't that good." I said, "You were better than everyone else in the room, but you're just a karaoke singer, let's be honest, right?" And he got all upset. So I then said, "All right, do you want to go? Does everyone want to go home?" And they said, "Oh, we could probably kick on for a little bit." So
danger.
So I got them into baby cats.
What?
Kittens. I took them all to I took
I thought you were talking about going to the Geelong football
no, I
club.
took him to Baby Cats for an hour.
The kittens.
Yes.
What, Sheila's climbing up and down poles?
Did you not climbing,
Oh, what were they doing?
swinging? No, there was. So I took the group.
Just stick money down the front of their pants?
No, I don't do that. I don't get dancers. But I took them to Kittens. They had a ball. Like a couple of the people that they were from. They're not born in Australia. So
Migrants.
It was a bit of an eye opener for them. Let's say.
To see the duck out there at Kittens.
No, well, it was a bit of an eye opener for them. They had a ball. So all in all, it ended up being a very good 50th birthday. It was a very good night. Finished
Did you
well.
sing karaoke to the people on the poles, the women?
No.
Did you give them money?
Not a karaoke bar. No, I'm not in. I don't do that. I just went there. I got them in. That was the main purpose
Did
of me
the
going.
people on the poles know that the great duck Carey was in?
I didn't want to go, but I just felt it.
That's right. You could have sat out in the cab then while they were in there having fun.
I just said, what about a couple of years ago? You'll love this.
You can't believe it.
I did an opening for the strip club in Geelong.
Did you?
I cut the ribbon.
How did that go?
It was a good night.
And-
I cut the ribbon, and the Herald, I think it was the Herald Sun, might have written an article about it because I was being facetious. And once when I did my podcast by myself, and someone said I explained that I was doing the opening of this strip joint, and they said, "Oh, so what's the requirement?" And I said, "Oh, well, I've got to be there for a certain amount of time." And I said, "But look, I'm probably only going to stay for 7 or 8 hours."
And they wrote that up.
They wrote that up. Like anyway, that was very funny. But yes, I went to. So it was a good 50th. Celebrated.
Well done. Could
ended
I
up
just
at
ask
Kittens.
you, when
Yes.
you opened the strip club?
When I opened.
When you opened the
Yes,
strip club.
at
So
Geelong.
you went to the microphone and had...
No, I didn't. There wasn't an official capacity there. I was just.
Oh.
I just went along.
Oh, I thought they said you were asked to open the strip
Yeah,
club.
I was. No, not officially do the.
Oh,
opening,
not
but I
say,
was-
well, now here's a collection of the girls going to come out from behind
No,
the curtain.
no.
Here's Bronwyn. Now, Bronwyn's got a good rig on her. Look at it. I thought you might have had to
You know
explain.
what? And everyone, and then for all those people that are,
Prudes.
prudes, and I did do a segment on, those guys out there that are allowed to go to strip clubs, and there's those who aren't, and then there are those who lie, and they go
Yes, yep.
anyway. Now,
Would any of the three people you've been married to, or not married to, but any of the three women that keep bringing you on this podcast, would they mind you going to a strip club?
well, obviously,
if you told them.
Obviously, partner now just doesn't have a problem with it. I'm not there.
So if you said, I'm
every
going to
night.
a strip club tonight,
The other two,
Jess?
the other two might have had an issue with it, which is why probably.
it's like the bloke we went to watch the Anzac Day game, or and he didn't. He got the strippers in while his wife was away.
Yeah,
What's his name?
No, don't say his name. Hey, I tell you, but what is funny is
They still together?
I have partners. I have mates. Sorry, that seriously they sneak. They're at the strip joints and they do, and they go, I'm not allowed here, duck. And I go, well, why are you here then?
Yeah.
If you're not allowed here, don't come.
They have cameras in strip clubs?
I would assume they have cameras for the safety of the whole thing, but I'm not sure it gets.
So they put masks. You can wear masks. You can go in, put a mask on.
Yeah, hey, that's a different type of party.
Can I ask you a question now about the football?
Yes, you can.
I've got this,
Anyway, so it was a great
fantastic.
Birthday. Thanks.
Could you tell me now? You'll say that this is the way it's. Well, I won't preempt what your answer is. Why, when someone kicks a goal in football, do the off-field people who run the club rip him off the ground immediately and put him on the bench? He'll kick a goal and he'll sprint off the
Yeah,
ground.
one of my bugbears.
Why do they do that?
Oh, because it's all about rotations.
No, but the bloke's on fire. He kicked
Yeah, I
the
know.
goal, he's
Sam,
taken a
I
mark,
get
he
your
rushes
point.
in, and then he runs 150 metres up.
Sprints off.
And he's
quicker
quicker than by the time he gets off.
quicker than any other time he's run on the
Why
ground.
do they take him off the ground? Who says that?
Because it's all about rotations. That's what it is. And it's
But
a load
when
of
you've
crap.
kicked a
It's
goal,
load
you would
of
have
crap.
an
I know.
adrenaline.
Well, exactly right. Generally, when you kick one, I know if you kick one, you probably kick 2 or 3 quickly after it.
Righto, here's
That's
my
generally
next
what happens.
question.
So I don't think that should happen. In particular with certain players, especially when
They'll say your
they're confidence
adrenaline's up.
players. Correct, they're confidence players. They go bang and then bang bang.
No, but they say your adrenaline's up. You've got to come down and settle down. So now here's the other thing.
Yep.
The only beauty of the Swans, they're not going well, the Swans, are they?
No, the Swans
I
are
tell
struggling
you,
a little.
Dean Cox, he's too emotional to be a calm coach.
Well, I'd tell you what he has said. One of the things that I do like, I like his what he's saying after these losses.
What's he saying?
You better bring your mouth guards to training because it's just about to get a hell of a lot tougher. He's making
Threatening.
well, no, he's making a rod for his own back to some degree, and that is he's talking like I haven't heard a modern day coach talk for a long time. He's saying publicly, you know what, we are
Soft.
not in a good place, and we are going to train our way out of it, and we're going to train very hard. You don't hear coaches speak like that much anymore. Well, you don't hear him speak like that at all. But he's only well, what is he, 10, 11, 12 games, whatever they've played this year into his coaching career. So it's going to be an interesting ride for Big Dean.
It is, and the only beauty of them getting beaten by a lot is the fact that we won't have to watch them in another grand final.
Yes, I know. I grew up a South Melbourne supporter, so
If they get into the grand final,
well, they're not going to
nail.
They're not going to play finals, Sam.
Well, that's the only bonus of the way they're playing. I don't mind them getting into the finals, but if the Swans
they're not
play in
playing
another
finals.
grand final, 2 in 4 years, where they're beaten by 80 and 80 points respectively.
It's becoming a bit of a trend. Grand final teams, getting into grand finals and then not making the finals a year after.
Yes, yes.
Well, Collingwood won the flag and then never made finals a year after. They're on top of the ladder this year, but they didn't make it last year.
Did you notice that the first wind farm ever in Victoria or Australia has been closed down?
Has it?
Yes, because there's more.
How much is it costing to pull them down?
There's
they
blades
falling down?
falling off them. They're catching fire. They're complete and utter fraud. The wind farms.
I know. I can hear the whales going. "Mm."
That's right. And birds. What do the whales do?
I can hear them rejoicing as you speak.
We were driving back from Albury the other day, Sue and I.
Albury. You went to Albury.
Yeah, I did. I was
Which
on the
club? Tigers
I was on a circuit. I did 6 speaking gigs up in
Albury or around the area.
Albury was the last town that I did.
Okay.
And we were driving back, and something caught my eye. It was glistening in the sun, and I looked out. There was a whole landscape of.
Excuse me, this is Harry.
A landscape.
Yes, Harry. Yes, of course we are, mate. I'm just on a podcast, but I'll see you at 9:30. Yes. See you, buddy. I had to get that. Well, at least it wasn't a mum.
Someone said
That was the great
on one of
Harry
the
Ugly.
someone said on one of the comments, he said, the duck doesn't take any notice of what you say. He just listens, and when you've stopped speaking, he starts speaking. He has no idea what your last thing you said. That is a classic case. I was saying there was a whole landscape of, what are they called, solar panels on this landscape, a whole field. You went over the horizon. There was hundreds of thousands of them have completely decimated the countryside by putting solar panels over all the beautiful fields that come down the Hume Highway. And I thought, what for? What for? What are those power? What are those solar panels powering?
Okay, so you disagree with the solar panels as well?
Yep. Completely.
Should we have solar panels on our roof?
Sustainable energy.
What about on our roof?
Yeah, well, you put them on your roof. You want to power your own little household.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah, well, the big ones that are decimating and
Yeah, but we should all put them on our roofs.
if you want to, yes.
Yeah.
If it helps power your house,
Correct.
How would a field full of solar panels power industry?
Yeah. No, I'm with you on this.
Besides fucking up the countryside,
I'm with you on this. They take a lot. Those big wind doobie-lickers. What are they called individually? Just what's one called?
Fronds.
It's a turbine, is it? That's what it's called. It's called
yeah.
a turbine. So how much for a turbine to be pulled down?
Millions.
And it'd be millions to, I assume,
Millions.
to put up, and then millions to pull down.
It is the green news scam. People think you've got to
Yeah.
put them up and decimate the countryside.
Well, I'm more for the solar panels than I am for the turbines.
What did you think of Bailey Smith?
I'll tell you what, he's
Smith-
playing some good football,
Yes, well,
Bailey.
he said he got depressed and started drinking because his
When?
was just in the news items.
Oh, okay.
He got depressed and started drinking because he had to keep his fitness up. And I thought, wow, if that's true, I mean, do you think if you're earning $700,000 a year, you could possibly not whinge about breaking up with your girlfriend? And could you not control?
Oh, is that what happened?
Well, I don't know. Maybe this is all bullshit.
Oh, mate, he's one of the Brownlow favourites. Bailey
Yes.
Smith. He's in great form.
Well, that's why
Love
they
watching
wrote
him
it
play.
up.
He's a running machine.
Is he? That's
Yes.
why they wrote it up.
And that's why he's playing very good football for the Cats. He just, you know what? They just can't keep up. They just can't keep up. He's playing very, very good footy. Some people are saying he's not using the ball that well. Every time I've watched him play, he's used it beautifully.
Has he?
Yeah,
Well, I tell you what we've covered today, Duck.
a lot.
We've covered a lot about a lot, but the one thing we are absolutely in agreement of is that you'll be down speaking at the Bowenheads
Bowenheads.
Football Club on the 20 whatever the date is.
I've got it written there. I'll have a look at it. I'll let you know.
And thank you very much, Sue. I was meant to would have forgotten this.
Let's just go over just quickly again. So let's make a push. So for the farmers
That's
down there,
the thing we've agreed
Elise, yes. We've agreed on a lot of things today, but some
well,
things
that's
you're more
where
passionate about. No, but the farmers, they need our
green
support.
armbands for
People are
the beleaguered.
There are farmers down there, and this sounds it's we're going to hit you between the. But the simple facts are there are farmers taking their own lives because of the position that they're in and what's going on, and it's just not reported. We're not hearing about
If
it.
the AFL could do anything,
They should do.
to rescue the
Absolutely.
credibility of the public who put up with their bullshit week in, week out.
Let's
This is how
get
they
behind
would
the farmers. Spot on.
how they would regain the confidence of the people running this competition. Back the people on the land who are doing it tough.
The very people that they'd farm their farms and then they'd sit up and watch AFL footy every night.
would.
But at the moment, you know what? They're that flat. I assume they're not doing that. So
You're
get
spot
behind it.
on, Duck. Now, a couple of shout-outs. Sean McGrosson. He has watched and listened
Shawnee.
to... What?
Shawnee.
Shawnee Mac. Shawnee Mac has watched and listened to every episode of the podcast.
That's-
He waits up for Sue to download it, and he loves it. And there's another man called Glenn. I won't mention his surname, but he's a great friend of Kathy Haynes. Do you know Kathy Haynes from the great racing family?
Hainesy?
Haynes.
No,
Kathy Haynes, she's a
The
star.
Haynes are
She
very-
listens to this,
Yep.
and she's as smart as a whip. And she up
thanks,
at Rochester, I think she is. But if you've the Haynes family got enough
I've got
land down on the way to
Wisey
Portsea.
says he listens to us to go
Who?
to sleep. Wisey, his name is.
Wisey.
Yeah.
Well, we're sending Glenn.
Say g'day to Wisey because he said he puts us on
Well, you say hello
and
to
goes
him.
to sleep. I said,
Yeah, you put him to
Are we
sleep.
going that well that you go to sleep?
Anyhow, Wisey, good on you, Wisey, and Smeetsy is still waiting for you to come down.
Yeah.
And we're saying hello to Glenn, who's having he's got a bit of an illness at the minute, and he's doing it tough. So he listens, and so we're giving a shout out to Glenn from Rochi Way, Rochi, and that's Kathy Haynes. And hello to Kathy,
Yes.
she's a star, Kathy.
Yep. No,
She is a star.
That's a big racing family.
It is. Now that's it, Duck. I don't think I can mention anything.
I've got to work out.
Any
Brad.
other phone
I've got to
calls
ring
you
all
want to
of the-
take just
I've got to
before
ring
we
all the-
finish?
I've got to.
Do you want to
ring
make some calls?
I've got to ring them all back.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. Now we've got Rombo. You got to catch up with Rombo. He's with Sheeds, he said.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, Duck, are we going to do the little?
Yes, we are.
So we'll. Oh yeah, I was just.
Hands
what intro will we do when we stand up there? What do we say we've done today?
What will we say we've done today?
What we'll do is we'll do it
all
right
things
here.
AFL.
We're closing off.
Okay.
All right.
Hooroo.
We're closing.